Hey, this is your girl, Leslie D, and I am super excited, y'all. Like today, we're talking about balance and priorities and making sure as women we have our priorities in alignment and in order. And I got a surprise. I'm not doing it by myself. I am literally super excited, guys, to share with you one of the gems in my life who I recently met this summer. And we literally just clicked and have been inseparable ever since. My homegirl, my heart, the wife coach extraordinaire, Lakia LB Brandenburg. And you guys, you are in for a treat because we are literally going to talk how her and I talk on a regular basis. And you're going to get basically a peek into our conversation. And I can't wait to share. And before I bring her on the line, let me give you just how amazing she is. Let me give you these deets, okay? Her name is Lakia Brandenburg, like I said, wife to Derek, Coach-to-Wives, the wife coach. She is a 2-time best-selling author who is committed to helping women who are married or planning to be married to know the difference between being a married woman and being a dynamic wife. LB empowers women to get rid of the fairytale syndrome and create a more realistic vision for their marriage and role as a wife by tapping into the power of the P and knowing when to tame your tongue. Her clients are taught how to live the happy wife life and create their own picture perfect marriage. Welcome to the call. Welcome to the podcast, LB. What's up, boo?
Hi, Leslie. I am so excited. Oh my God. Like, for real. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. I legit was thinking about like how many conversations I have with my friends offline or with my clients about balancing and helping them legit get their balance and their order together. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, who can I talk to about this on the podcast and really bring them into a session or like a conversation with one of my girls who got it together and who really shares the same content? And I was like, no other than you, my boo, LB.
Aww.
So I am super excited to have this conversation with you. And on my podcast, my family, we are always talking about women that work, and work is the effort and excellence that we put towards ourselves as women, because a lot of times the reason why I call it the Love and Legacy podcast is because we don't believe that we can have both when we're out here trying to go get the entrepreneurship and be our best selves, but then also be able to maintain home and be the mom, be the wife, and carry all the titles that we have. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, I need to start letting women know that we can put in work towards ourselves and come from a place of overflow, but we also can be out here and have the love and legacy. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. Well, one thing you said, and I'm going to go ahead and just correct you on, because you said I got it together. I listened very closely to that. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up now. That's one thing about balance, though. When I think about it, it's a constant struggle.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't care where you are in life. It's definitely a constant struggle. But I do absolutely, completely agree with you that we can have it all. Mm-hmm. But the key thing is understanding that we may not be able to have it all at one time. Like, literally, every day of my life looks different than maybe the next or the day before or the next day. So I think being able to understand where we are as entrepreneurs out here working, you know what I'm saying, for what we want. And even if you're not an entrepreneur, you know, even climbing the corporate ladder or just being content or wherever you are in the work field, you still have to balance the rest of your life, because part of your introduction was that I'm wife to Derek. Coach-to-Wives. This is one entity of my life. I'm also mommy to Lexi and Demi. I'm also Kaisha's little baby sister. I'm still Ruth's daughter. You know what I'm saying? So with so many, I'm still Leslie's friend.
Yeah, so many titles.
Different areas.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got to learn how to balance it. You really do.
And that's why when I said has it together, I thought about it. I was like, child, none of us have it together. Like, but I was like, when I said it, I was like, it's all good. Let's just keep going with it, because not together, but understands the power of the intention behind having the balance and making sure that there is priority and order. So that's why I was like, let me go ahead and keep the party going and not even be moved by saying.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Right.
You know what? I think it's good that you said it, because sometimes we have this perception that people, oh, dang, man, how she do all that? She got it together. She done figured this thing out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, like, I actually had a client say, like, because you just have it all together. And then she knew somebody else who was really influential that I was connected to. And she was like, I'm like, do you think she has it together too? And she was like, yeah. I said, baby, let me tell you something.
Right. Right.
We don't have it all together. We just are intentional to not stop being impactful and being inspirational to the audience and our tribe, and sharing what we're going through while I'm still dealing with Janiyah and her preteen stuff, and I'm still dealing with, creating content. You're still dealing with being Derek's wife. You still trying to tame your tongue. I'm still trying to not snap on my child. Like, you know what I'm saying?
There you go. Right. Absolutely.
We're still making sure that we are being intentional, and that might be why people think we have it together. Intention versus having it together is really what it comes down to.
Absolutely. I agree.
So, like, share with me a pivotal point where you knew, okay, I really need to prioritize myself, and I really need to get this order of balance of all these titles that I carry. Like, what was that moment that you was like, okay, I got to tighten up and I got to really get my attention and put in work?
Right. Okay. There we go with that intention again. When I tell you, one thing I've actually coached my wives on is understanding that we have to create some form of balance so that we can live in harmony. So
that's good.
Really creating a form of balance so that you can live in harmony. So I had to really look at myself when my life started really changing and shifting. I've been married, happily married, I must say, to Derek for 9 years. Been together since we were 19, 20. That's a whole other story.
Right.
But I've been with him for a long time. We've experienced life together for quite some time. And our oldest daughter is 10. And so I really feel like the pivotal point for us when I really had to, like you said, put myself first, was when my second child came, Lexi. Lexi, 15 months old today.
Yay! Shout out to Lexi.
Girl, Lexi Pooh.
Right.
That girl crazy. But she came into the picture and literally, for so many great reasons, kind of wrecked our world. You know what I'm saying? Like, she came in and I realized that, oh my God, like, I'm a mother of two. Like, that's when things started really hitting, like, okay, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. Lexi is here with me as I am building my business. My husband is building multiple businesses. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really realize, like, when I got tired, when I got frustrated with her, you know what I'm saying? When I started getting snappy with Demi, even with Derek, I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, my tank is empty. Like, I'm really trying to serve from an empty cup. I like to always use the analogy of a glass half empty or half full, and I would try to serve from that. So when I started putting myself first, I started thinking about the things that really made me happy outside of my family. And I'm not saying like it shouldn't be a priority, but sometimes we as women, we lose ourselves in our kids, we lose ourselves in our family. And I'm like, look, life is no dress rehearsal. We only get one shot at this thing, and I'm going to be honest with you, LB got a life just like Lexi's going to have a life, Demi's going to have a life, Derek's going to have a life. And so I had to make sure that I was still living my life to the fullest, too, and not just giving my whole life to my children. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Like,
so, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, man, I tell women, my clients all the time, you cannot continue to do life at the expense of you and be doing it on empty. Because we can't get another us.
Right.
We can't get another us. And I love how we both have the same mindset of talking about doing life from a place of overflow. And guys, family, she did an amazing job of showing the actual visual of what that looks like in her webinar that she did for her wives. So she has a webinar, Wife Wednesday, on a regular basis. She just did it just recently. Wasn't it last week that you just did that?
Yeah. 5 ways to balancing your personal and business life.
Yeah, that webinar was amazing. And it was. I was super excited. Like, oh, you better show up, girl. Let them know. And I was I was super excited when I saw you show the difference between having a cup on full and a cup overflowing. Because I think that sometimes we stop at just being full, because it's like, okay, Les, you say I can't do life on empty, so I'm going to put a Band-Aid here. But instead of finding out how to really truly put in the work, make sure you put an effort and excellence towards yourself, making sure that you are setting some time out to refuel yourself, to do the things that fill your cup all the way up. So then anything extra that you're doing is the overflow effect that your family gets. So we're no longer snapping. We're no longer short.
Yes.
We're no longer, taking breaks or procrastinating on doing the things that we even have to do for our entrepreneur or career endeavors.
Right, exactly.
Because we shut down. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so for me, that moment, like you said, of when I decided to be selfish, which is one of the tips that I share. Selfish is just being full of self, like really making sure that you are self-empowered, self-educated, you know what I'm saying? Self-care.
Yeah.
Putting yourself first.
Yeah.
So for me, it was finding those things that I really enjoyed. And one of those things out of many was running in the morning. Like, I absolutely love getting up at the crack of dawn because I feel like I'm getting a head start on life before everybody else because they sleep. There's just something about that morning air. It's
Girl.
something about me. It's something about me, that pavement, God, and trap music. It's something that happens.
Let them know.
Something happened.
Let me tell you, you just said it. Me, God, and trap music, and literally putting in work for my body. That is the same ingredients for what I do every morning. Like, you getting up, I'm getting up, and I'm like having my quiet time, and then it's me and trap music and my body, and just me really reflecting on my intentions for the day. I think that is the recipe for the number one self-care recipe.
No. You said that's the recipe, right? So my thing is, if that's the recipe, that's part of the overflow. That's the part where you are constantly filling yourself up to where I can come home now and pour into my children.
Yep.
I can pour into my husband because I feel so good about me. I feel good about me taking care of my health, taking care of, that baby weight going away. I think I'm about 5 pounds away from my, pre-pregnancy weight, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, girl. But like I just posted today, I was like, it's never about the snatch waist and the fat butt. Like, it's not just about that. Like, yes, that comes with it. But the reason why I press play every day, the reason why I work out every day is because the happy hormones that are released, the emotional and mental health that I am able to stimulate and work through as I am working my body. Then I can then deal with Janiyah. I can deal with my clients. I can deal with creating content. And because I'm coming from a place of, I've talked to God. I've dealt with myself. I've envisioned plans and intentions for who I am and who I'm called to be, and then who I need to be for those who are counting on me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's it. That is it. So that, to me, that's out of all of the tips that I share, that's one of the main ones, which is the hardest for us to follow. For whatever reason, it's the hardest one, but that's the main ingredient for us being successful in order to balancing it all.
Because I think that as women, we believe that being selfish or putting ourselves first is selfish in a way where it takes away from the titles that we carry that are most important. Instead of understanding that being selfish is selfless and puts us in a place of self-love and self-care and overflow that literally causes the trajectory of how we do life, our families, and our relationships on a whole nother level. It takes it to a whole nother level.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Like, it does. I literally was just talking to Janiyah the other day, and I was like, aren't me and you doing so good now? She was like, yeah, we are, Mom. And it was because the older that she's getting, the more intentional I have to take time for me on a whole nother level, because transitions happen in our families and our family dynamics where no longer am I dealing with this situation in this sphere of our relationship as a family, as a husband or a wife and a mom and a child. We're now dealing with this season of life, and those different transitions and seasons require a different level and a different version of us as women who are the natural incubators, nurturers, life givers, connectors, convictors. We are basically the fivefold manifestation of the Holy Spirit on earth to our family. we operate like the Holy Spirit. And if the Holy Spirit has 5 areas that it operates from, that's even more reason why we need to connect with ourselves and really nurture ourselves, so that when the transitions happen, when the shifts happen, we can be in a place of overflow and not be rocked to the core. Because if we're not in a good place and we're always on empty, we got bitterness, resentment, and we're wreaking havoc in our family dynamics that don't have to happen.
Absolutely.
So what is a big tip, like after being selfish, what is another tip that you would say? And I guess we would say the first tip would be creating a morning routine, a miracle morning, setting your intentions in the morning to set your day, because both of us literally do that, and it has changed how we interact with our families and our priorities. And we work from a place of overflow when we're intentional with our mornings, and then we're selfish because of that. What is another tip that you would give, like a last tip that you would give for really having priorities and really understanding balance as a wife, a wife to be, and a mom, and an entrepreneur desiring to be an entrepreneur?
I think the first thing we have to do, which is more so, like you said, setting an intention, is defining what balance looks like to you.
Yes.
Because balance and to you is going to look totally different than it does for me, because one, our family dynamics are a little different.
Absolutely.
You're dealing with a teenager, preteen. I'm dealing with 2 kids under 10.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with, a husband and just different dynamics. So
Yeah.
I think getting clear on what balance looks like to you. Because again, to look at a woman that says, oh my God, how does she do it? She has it all together. You don't know if she got a nanny. You don't know if she got a support system. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be real clear on what that balance looks like.
Because all we saying is highlight reels, okay?
That's controlled content.
Mm-hmm.
That's controlled content. So if we can get past that whole what everybody else is, doing or what they're saying, and get clear on what balance looks like for me, and be realistic about it. Let me also just dispel a myth. Balance does not mean equal.
Nope. Mm-mm.
So 1 week you may spend quite a bit of time, maybe 50%. I like to say that, like 50% building your business, and maybe 30% is devoted to your child, and then 20% is devoted to your spirituality or your wellness, and then maybe you get 5% or 10%. So really, again, being clear. But see, when you define what balance looks like for you, and you start to really look and see how you're, I'll say, spending your time or investing your time, you'll realize, you know what, I'm a little out of alignment right here.
Yes.
I've been working too much, and I'm not giving enough time to my kids.
Yep.
Or, you know what, I've been giving too much time to everybody and not me. Like, today was one of those days where I felt like my husband called me a fuss box. He said, well, you're a fuss box, don't you? Because I was about to fuss at something, and I said, you know what, check yourself, LB, what's going on? What's wrong with you? What you feeling? Because you're not communicating what you're feeling. You're just nagging right now.
Right.
And so for me, it was, you know what, I need some days to myself.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm about to get those, but I need a few days to myself, because I'm feeling like I'm pouring and not giving myself enough of myself. So I think that's the first tip. Start there, and then be selfish, and don't feel that guilt trip about, doing you. Do you, so you can take care of those who you love.
Absolutely. That is so good. Is define what that looks like for you. What is balance for your titles and dynamics that you are in, and it's like, when you define that, and then you set your intentions on your day and your morning, and then you know that you can be selfish, so you can ultimately be selfless and overflow. It's a game changer. It's a game changer. It was absolutely amazing chopping it up with you really quick and sharing with the fam and telling them that we don't all have it together, but we are intentional by putting in work with being very intentional towards ourselves as women.
Very true.
And so, with that being said, define what it is to be a woman that works in 3 words or less.
She's a boss.
She's a boss.
Yeah, she's a boss. And that just really quickly means, not just being a boss like entrepreneur, but the boss of her life.
That's
in every
good.
area.
Yeah.
So showing up in every area of her life. So that's the boss of life to me. Wow.
She's the boss because she's being intentional in every area of her life.
Yes.
Come on. She's the boss.
Hey.
Hashtag.
Hashtag. She's a boss. Now, how you spell it, that's on you. B-O-S-S or B-A-W-S-E. Hey, I don't know about all that. But
right.
It shows up.
But as she shows up and she's intentional about her and then everything that's attached to her.
That's it.
So after that, I would ask you, name one book that literally has changed how you, or elevated how you put in work for yourself?
The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn.
Really?
That was a game changer. When I say game changer, I can read that book today. I have read it several times and continue to see new things that I didn't see before. It helped me to shift my mindset because, everything begins with mind. It helped me to really understand my power as a woman. It really helped me to understand that I can speak things. Now, the Bible, of course, is the all-time favorite book, but this one right here, baby, it breaks down the Bible like you ain't never heard it before. It is amazing. So you got to read that one.
I'm about to say, I'm going to have to read that.
It's so amazing. Like from the beginning, from the first page. It's so dope.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm legit going to cop that like ASAP.
Yes.
Okay, so then my last question would be, what's one thing you would share with a woman who desires to put in work towards her balance and priorities as we talked about today?
Well, of course, we talked about being selfish, defining what balance looks like to you. But I think one thing that we need to start doing more of and not being, selfish in the fact of not doing it is asking for help. We wear this, I don't know why we wear an S on our chest.
Girl, because I'm not your superwoman, okay?
I'm just saying, like, for real, where did that come from? And you know what? Of course, we've seen it. We've grown up seeing that.
Yes.
Like,
it's absolutely been modeled, especially for us as African American in that community. It's absolutely been modeled in front of us.
Yes, ma'am. So I say take that S off your chest, change it from superwoman to I need some support woman. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Change it to that, because for me it was about being able to say, "Mommy, I need help." Like, what's up? You gonna move down here and help me take care of these kids? Because I'm trying to build a business. My husband's trying to build a business. We can't do it on our own.
We
So I
can't.
had to ask for help. I had to swallow that pride, bury it, and just really ask for what I needed. So definitely, if you want to be able to put in work and prioritize your life, you got to look for a support system. See who is within your circle that can buy into what you're doing and provide the support that you need so that you can win together.
That is so true. Y'all, she ain't lying. Ask for help. A support system, a village is necessary to be a woman that works. That is so, so true. Girl, I just love you. You are an absolute gem. And it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the Love and Legacy podcast. Is there anything else you would like to share with the fam? And also let them know how they can find you and, just give them all the deets.
Absolutely. I am super excited again. Thank you so much for having me. This is just like our everyday conversation.
Right.
So, I really appreciate it. I just hope that it helps somebody. I hope that somebody who's listening has been, touched by it. So for me, you can follow me on Instagram at Wifecoach. You can Facebook as well, Lakia Brandenburg. I'm on all social media outlets. But as far as that woman who may need that extra help, who feels that, you know what, LB, it all sounds good and dandy, but my situation is a little unique. I do offer coaching, not just for my wives, but I offer coaching for that woman who is looking to create some form of balance so that she can live in harmony. So definitely go to my website, LakiaBrandenburg.com, and I want you to book your balance strategy session. I'm going to teach you how to create balance. And remember, balance does not mean equal. I'm going to show you how, in your unique situation, how you can create that form of balance that you need so that you can live in harmony and be that happy wife, happy girlfriend, happy that you need to be in your life.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And everybody, I will make sure that all the links from the podcast for her contact information that she just shared and all the details that she just shared will be in the podcast notes on the website and on the YouTube link as well. And I just want to say I love you guys. I love you, fam. And as we talked about today, this is super important for women, for us to have community and a support system. So please join the Work Vault. You can get in contact about the Work Vault, get all the information about the community that we're building over there at the Work Vault. And it's www.lesliedanielle.com/Work Vault. And I am super excited to support you in that endeavor so that we know that we don't have to do it alone, and that balance and priority is key, but it also means everything when you are doing it in community. And it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys and loving on you guys. It's your girl LD. Mwah.